Is there such a thing as a fun hit?
Yeah, because it's like, you hit a guy, but you don't hit him hard, but you show him that, you got to him with a punch and kind of look at him funny.
If you were kind of in the corner for each, what would your blueprint be to be victorious? You haven't got a call from Mike Tyson saying that he wants to do an exhibition with you or anything, no?
No.
Would you ever entertain it? The wink, it says it all. Charlotte Daly with Male Sport Boxing, joined by Lennox Lewis. How are you?
I'm good.
Great. Well, firstly, I have to start with happy birthday, happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
How does it feel to be in the 60 club?
Feels good. I mean, I don't feel 60, but it feels good.
Don't look 60 at all. Did you do anything nice for it?
Yeah, went out to dinner, spent some time with my friends, and had a good time.
And then flew over to Las Vegas, so it's not a bad kind of birthday week or so, is it?
No, it's not.
Look, being back in Las Vegas is amazing. Having big fight nights back in Las Vegas is amazing. You're no stranger to it yourself. You've had your fair share of huge nights in Las Vegas. I want to talk about some of them. What is your kind of fondest memory in Las Vegas?
Oh, man, I have so many. There's so many, and some I can't even remember. But, just the fights, winning the fights, coming here as an underdog and winning and leaving as a champion, those type of memories.
What is it like, the build-up for a Las Vegas fight week? For people that maybe don't know or haven't experienced being in Las Vegas when there's a big fight on, as a fighter, what is that like?
Hectic. It's hectic because you're coming straight out of training camp, and training camp for me was up in the hills in the Poconos, and there was nothing around but deers and animals and quietness and sereneness. And then all of a sudden you come to Vegas, then everybody wants your time. There's lights, there's cameras, everybody wants to talk to you. So you got to stay focused and keep your focus, because everybody's just coming at you, and then you don't know how big it is until it's growing. It's growing every day. Every day there's something that you have to do. The biggest thing is the press conference, where you meet your opponent and see your opponent. And then you get a lot of cameras at you, a lot of interviews. And for some people, it could be offsetting. For me, I just have to, I would have to stay focused, and I try not to do as much as I can. Don King would get you to do a lot of interviews before your fight to get you tired, because you're boxing one of his guys. But we grew, we knew about that trick, so he couldn't do that to us too much.
Did you actually get to kind of take any of the experience in, though? I mean, I was here for a Canelo fight week before. It was against Charlo, and for the weigh-in, the fans were queuing up, and as soon as the doors were open, they were elbows out, kind of fighting to get to the front. The atmosphere was incredible. Did you have anything like that with you, and did you get to enjoy any of it, or was it just kind of blinkers on and try and block everything out?
Yeah, when you're fighting, blinkers are on. You can't even... For me, it wasn't a time to get friendly with anybody. It was just staying focused, realizing that I had a job to do, realizing this guy is in my way, and I have to really focus on him. Don't focus on anything else but my opponent.
Is there an extra pressure that comes with fighting in the hub? That Vegas has long been known for the hub of boxing. I know there's other areas that have potentially overtaken Vegas now, but when you were fighting, was there an extra pressure with the fact that it was this mega place for boxing?
Yeah, I think every boxer wants to fight in Vegas. Everybody wants to fight in New York. Everybody wants to fight in Rio. Riyadh. Everybody wants to fight in London. So there's different places that people love to fight right now, and that the hot places is obviously Vegas and Rio season. So
you not just fought in Las Vegas, you actually filmed, was it Ocean's 11 here with Vladimir Klitschko?
Yes, we did.
What was that like?
That was interesting, because that's the first time I've ever been on a scene of a really major movie and didn't realize what it all entails. Like, there's like 50 fans out there. They're getting paid $50 a day just to stand out there in the heat, just to be a part of a film, and other things. And then what I learned about movies, like, you can take a shot, and then all of a sudden they say, okay, wrap it, and then you go back to your trailer for 3 hours, and you come out and they've set up somewhere else just some lights, and then they shoot the same scene again. So that goes on like for a day. So being a movie star is not really,
It's not all that, not what you
it's
think.
not really all that. There's a lot of boringness to it.
You didn't get the bug for it then, no?
No.
What was it like being with Vladimir doing that? Because obviously you fought Vitaly but didn't fight Vladimir. How was being with him?
Me and Vitaly got on good. He threw a punch and hit me in the jaw. So I threw a punch, I hit him in the jaw. It was fun. It was a fun hit though.
Is there such a thing as a fun hit?
yeah, because it's like, you hit a guy, but you don't hit him hard, but you show him that, you got to him with a punch and kind of look at him funny. He did the same thing to me.
Brilliant. Look, we are in Las Vegas for a massive fight, Canelo versus Crawford.
Massive fight.
People are billing it as the biggest fight of the era. What's your opinion? Do you think it's the biggest fight?
Yeah, I think it's one of the biggest fights of the era. I mean, you can't say it's not. You got two great champions fighting each other, and you got one great champion moving up 3 weight classes to fight the other champion. So that's pretty interesting.
Do you think it's all about kind of the styles? Obviously, there is the narrative of the weight, and we'll go into that in a minute. But do you think the styles lead to a very exciting fight for the fans on Saturday?
Absolutely. Both have different styles, and, Bud Crawford has a unique style. I call him martial arts because, he boxes on both sides and you never know what's coming. And is pretty elusive in there, and he moves well. So, he's going up against Canelo, another champion, deep history behind him. He's boxed a lot of good boxers out there. So he's right at the top of his game right now.
I find it interesting when people talk about the fight because we know it's going to be exciting, but I remember Turki Al-Sheikh was saying, I might make a smaller ring to make it more exciting, or like telling both guys how to fight. But Bud didn't really bite to that. He almost kind of snapped back and said, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I'm not going to cater to what you want, sort of thing. Do you respect that from him, being able to say that?
I respect that from him. Like, he wants to win the fight. He wants to box his own style. Doesn't want to be no interruptions. So he just wants to go out there and do his thing.
With two guys of such caliber fighting against each other, how much of it then comes down to the mental side, almost more so than the physical side of things?
Well, you know what? It's the experience side as well. One guy has more experience. Canelo has more experience. And that is a situation where, going off a guy's experience, he's been there before, he's boxed some good guys compared to, Bud, he's boxed some good guys, not as many good guys. So that may be a telling blow right there.
Yeah, people read a lot into the resumes. We've spoken about it before, about the fact that Canelo probably has more marquee names on his resume. Do you think that really is a factor? And do you think that that's why almost there should be more appreciation for Crawford, because he's going out from his standard weight division to go and find these guys and make these fights happen?
Yes, the fact that he's doing that, makes him a lot more dangerous. He's got some real big goals in mind, and this is one of them, and it's achievable for him. There's special people, special boxers out there. Canelo's one of them. He's a special boxer. Bud is one of them. He's special. When I say special, there's only certain special guys that can actually jump weight classes and beat the guys in the other weight classes. So Bud Crawford is definitely one of them.
Yeah. If he is able to do it, and he is able to beat Canelo, it is just historic, and it will live on forever. But why do you think Canelo would take it? Because it's obvious why Crawford would take it. With Canelo, it's not quite so obvious because of the fact that if he loses to a smaller guy, that's a real blemish on his record.
Well, he took it for maybe 2 reasons. He took it because he believes he can do it. He can win the fight. He also took it because there's a lot of zeros behind his name.
A nice paycheck, yes. Helps it along the way.
Yes.
With someone like Canelo, though, he's obviously been in the game for so long and he's fought so many people. Do you think he needed something like this to really motivate him? Because it must be hard when you've kind of done it all, or you've fought everyone and you've got all that money to bring yourself into a camp and really put yourself through it. Because even his last fight against William Skull, he was really disappointed because it wasn't an enjoyable fight for him. It wasn't an enjoyable fight for the fans. Do you think he's now at the point where he's like, I only need something that's going to get me out of bed?
Yes, I think he needed this type of fight. He's up for it. He's trained for it. He's brought some good guys into his training camp. So to me, that tells me he's very ready for it. He was looking for this type of opportunity, and here it is. in front of him. So he's taking it very serious.
On the flip side, you've got Crawford. He's never lost, so he's got that on his side. And he's also got this mentality of always viewing himself as an underdog, whether that be in life or in the ring, and kind of coming through a lot. Do you think that makes him dangerous in and of itself because of the mind and the mentality he has?
Yes, it is, because it's like, if you look at Canelo, a lot of people would say, well, he's got a lot of money, he's gotten fat off of boxing. Does he really still want to be in boxing? Well, to me, he showed he wants to be still in boxing. You can get fat in boxing and, be tested. Sometimes you need that. You need somebody like Crawford to come into your life and say, yo, I can beat you. And you're looking at, he's coming up to my weight class, 3 weight classes to try and beat me. That could give some people the hump. And, I feel it gave him the hump, realizing that this guy wants to come to my weight class, the weight class that I've owned for so long and been boxing for so long. No, I'm not going to let this guy beat me. So, that's probably his mentality right now.
So it's that added motivation that potentially he wouldn't get elsewhere.
Right.
Yeah. Well, in terms of the fight itself, people are talking about the weight. You mentioned it a minute ago. Before we get stuck into the details of it, how important do you think it is, and how much of a factor do you think it is going into fight night?
I think it's a little factor. You have to remember, maybe Burt Crawford walks at that weight, and he has to lose weight to come down to his fighting weight. But now is a situation where he can actually build up and eat his natural foods and go into the ring feeling even stronger than he does at his own weight class.
Mm-mm. With that as well, cutting weight, obviously, the older you get, the harder it gets. So do you think the age is a factor as well, that actually this is the right time for him to be taking this fight?
Yeah, it is the right time for him to be taking this fight, because if you look at his career, he's probably got about 3 more fights left, and I think he wants to beat a couple guys before he gets out.
So do you reckon now that he's added on that extra weight, he'll have the power? Do you think he could even stop Canelo with this new weight?
It only takes one punch to stop someone, in the sense that it's that perfect punch. So if he throws that perfect punch, I don't think he'll hurt Canelo. I think Bud Crawford throws a multiple amount of punches to hurt his opponent. So it's not just one punch he's going to hit Canelo with. He'll hit Canelo with combos.
People are making so much of the weight, and we've just spoken about it there and the power and stuff. But do you think they're underestimating or kind of forgetting or overlooking Canelo's IQ, for example? Because everyone talks about Crawford's IQ and the skills that are going to win him the fight on Saturday. But do you think people are negating kind of that aspect for Canelo?
Yeah, I think they're missing on how many fights he's had, his experience, and the resume of boxers that he's boxed. All these resumes of boxers that he's boxed prepares him for this type of boxer.
Do you think there has been a decline in Canelo recently, or do you think he just hasn't been motivated?
I think he hasn't been motivated. It takes, something to motivate you. I think this fight motivates him.
If you were kind of in the corner for each, what would your blueprint be for Canelo, for example? What would you be wanting him to produce on Saturday night to be victorious?
Yeah, much faster with his feet, moving in, trying to take that body and throw that hook, and just starting a lot quicker than he usually does. Like I said, this is a great fight for him. He wasn't happy with his last couple fights, and now it's a chance for him to show the public who he is.
And if I were to flip it on you now and you're in Crawford's camp, what would your blueprint be for Crawford?
Not to get hit too much in the first round, move around, use my speed, and when it comes to the inside work, make sure my elbow's in so I don't get hit with Canelo's body shots, and keep him at distance, move around, and when it comes to the exchanges, make sure you win the exchanges and get out of town quick so you don't get hit.
How beneficial do you think Crawford's ability to switch stances will be on Saturday?
I think he does it naturally, There's no given way that he's going to fight. He does what he does. He's got that he's got that style that nobody really knows. He knows that style. Even if I would box against that style, I wouldn't know how to box against it because, he switches. He switches so well.
Yeah. Well, Saturday night, not long to go until we see it. Everyone's talking about what happens after the fight. And I know it's hard because we're getting this mega fight. Let's just enjoy it without looking too far forward. But do you think this could be the last time we see both of them or either of them in the ring? Do you think that this could be when they call it, go out on a massive fight like this?
I don't know. If it's a good fight, they might do it again. So, and the money probably be bigger.
Yeah, well, maybe. If Crawford is able to win this fight and pull off this feat, where do you think that puts him in history?
Oh, it puts him very high in history. I mean, it's an amazing feat what he's doing, and he's an incredible fighter. So he'll definitely take his place in history.
He always talks about the fact that he doesn't get he doesn't get the recognition he deserves at the moment. Do you find that a lot with boxers, that they don't get the recognition until they do hang up the gloves? And do you think it's fair?
No, I don't think it's fair, but it happens to certain boxers. I think it happened to me a little bit. It's happening to him. In life, it happens to a lot of boxers, but, for me, I always say I'm like fine wine. I always get better in time, and that's what's happening.
Did that annoy you or frustrate you in your career? Did it play on your mind? Were you irritated that people wouldn't give you the recognition that you deserved?
A little bit, but not that much. Not that much. For me, I'm just a winner. As long as I win and prove my point, I'm happy with myself. Yeah. I don't really care what anybody says. It's
the best way. You've got to be like that now, especially with social media and stuff, because these boxers, anyone can say anything and have an opinion. That it must be quite hard for them.
Yeah, it is. It is hard. I think it's hard for a lot of boxers. It depends on their team. If they've got a team that's out there pushing out social media all the time, but it could backfire as well. So it's better that it happens naturally.
Yeah. Look, we have to ask your opinion on the heavyweight scene at the moment. We've recently seen that Anthony Joshua has kind of thrown down the gauntlet again. He put a statement out basically saying to Tyson Fury, let's make it happen, and the ball is in your park now. So do you think it will happen? And do you think it's a disaster if it doesn't? Do you think they'll regret it if they don't fight each other?
Yes, I think they will. I think it's going to be disappointing for both of them. I think this is the biggest fight in England right now, and they should really take it on. It really depends on both of them. Tyson Fury, if he wants it, it's right there for him. Anthony Joshua, if he wants it, it's right there for him. Another big fight, and I think people want to see that fight, and they're going to be disappointed if it doesn't happen. What
do you make of where Anthony Joshua is at the moment? Because that loss to Daniel Dubois was significant, a big blow to him. Where do you think he is in terms of his ability within his career at the moment?
I don't know. It really depends on what he wants to do. I think, I heard that he's going to be fighting in Ghana soon. If that's what he wants to do, or he wants to fight Jake Paul, he's in there for the money. So I think a good fight with Jake Paul would be good for him. What
do you make of these fights at the moment? I know Jake is obviously trying to go down the professional boxing route, but some of his fights are exhibitions, and obviously there's that fight with Tank coming up, and we've even heard recently that Mike Tyson and Mayweather are potentially going to fight each other. What do you make of all of these sorts of fights being put on?
I think they're fun fights in that sense. It's just fun for the fans, and it gives them an opportunity to go see a fight and get together with their friends.
Yeah, make a bit of money, hang out with your pals. It's not bad. You haven't got a call from Mike Tyson saying that he wants to do an exhibition with you or anything, no?
No.
Would you ever entertain it? The way it says it all. Coming soon. You have no interest in anything like that, do you?
Not at the moment.
Unless the money's right. Yes, so back to the heavyweight scene. Obviously, AJ Fury, that is a potential. Another person at the moment is Alexander Usyk. I know Joseph Parker has been wanting to fight him for as long as I can remember. He's not getting that fight next. Usyk has had a back injury, so we hear. There were some videos of him going around dancing. whether he was injured or not injured, do you think Usyk has the right to almost pick and choose at the moment and pick his times of when he gets to fight because of everything he's achieved?
Yeah, I think so. I hate the fact that you become undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. Then you got 4 belts saying, oh, you're going to fight this guy. And if you don't fight that guy, we're going to take the belt away. I think that's silly. Take the guy's belt away. He's undisputed champion. Now you want to take his belt away because he doesn't want to fight your guy. There's too many guys out there for him to fight. But yes, Alexander Usyk always picks the best guy to fight. He's not trying to get the easy guy to fight. He wants the best guy out there. So I appreciate that about him.
What would be your solution to that kind of situation then? Because I know some people, Dana White's spoken about it before, think that just one belt would be better and it would eliminate some of these problems. Other people think that that's a terrible idea and it wouldn't work in boxing. What's your kind of take on that?
Well, when I was boxing, I always said, well, why? There's so many different belts, I'm the heavyweight champion of the world, but there's another guy saying he's the heavyweight champion of the guy, and there's another guy saying he's the heavyweight champion of the guy. I'm like, but I'm the best guy out there. They're not heavyweight, and plus they don't want to fight me. So, it's kind of leaving me at a disadvantage in that sense. But to what you're saying, I believe there should be one belt for the champion that says he's the champion of all the belts. So maybe we should bring in an undisputed belt in there. So once you win the undisputed belt, that's the belt that you own. And for the other boxers that want to become undisputed, they have to beat you first.
Yeah. Do you think promoters would go for that, though? Because I think they like the idea of saying, oh, my guy's heavyweight champion, and then the other promoter can say, oh, my guy's also heavyweight champion.
The promoter's going to hate that. They would not like that one bit because they know when somebody's got a belt, that's money. It's always money. Hey, here's the heavyweight champion of the world. Well, is he the real heavyweight champion of the world or what? They don't care. He's got a belt and he's a heavyweight champion. Yeah.
Well, talking of belts, Joseph Parker and Fabio Wardley are fighting, and it's been said that the winner will then get to fight Usyk. What do you make of that as a matchup, as a fight? Does it excite you?
That's a good fight. I'm sure, I would love to see that fight. That's a great fight at this moment. 2 good boxers boxing each other. It's another British heavyweight fight.
How do you think it would go between the two of them?
I think Joseph Parker has a lot more experience right now and is leading the way. But, oddly enough, is a guy that you never really expect to make it, but in a fight, he shows up. He shows up and he throws the punches and they get through. So, he's doing a good job when it comes to that.
Would you like to see him get his chance against Usyk?
Yeah, absolutely. He's been actually on the outside for a little bit, so he deserves a chance right now.
Mm-hmm. Another guy in the picture, people were talking about him fighting Joseph Parker, is Moses Atama. He's obviously, they're billing him as the next big thing in Britain. What's your opinion of Moses?
Very good fighter. He's on his way up right now. There's a lot of things he needs to learn, and he's learning them. And, I would say take your time, learn your craft, and then at the right time, make your mark.
How important is it for them to guide his career that way? Because every fighter is going to say, I want to be in the biggest fights. I want, fast track me, everything like that. But how important is it that people around him do take care with his career?
Yeah, because, you look at it like this. Alexander Usyk boxed Tyson Fury twice, boxed Anthony Joshua twice, Daniel Dubois twice, and basically locked the door for British heavyweights right now. And we don't want to rush back into it as British heavyweights. We want to take our time, learn the craft, and be a champion at the right time.
Yeah, we don't have a great track record against Usyk as Brits, do we?
No.
What would your game plan be against Alexander Usyk? Do you think you would have beaten him?
Yeah, and he'd probably say he would beat me too. But I believe that it would be a great fight between me and him. I wish I was in this era right now, so I would have that chance to fight him. He deals with sports science. I deal with sports science too, and I think that's the winning blow right there.
Is that something that you focused on a lot in your in your career? I mean, we went over and saw Alexander before his last fight, and he was telling us all about he has sensors in his gum shield to track kind of the head trauma and sparring, and it was really interesting, all the data around it. Obviously, it would have been different back when you were fighting, but
Right.
did you take a lot of interest in kind of small margins like that? What sort of things did you look at?
Well, look at oxidizing, making sure there's enough oxygen in my blood, making sure my levels are high, making sure I'm hydrated. All these different things that add to a boxer, which is necessary, which helps you, because it's better that you know if you need more water. It's better if you know that you're not getting enough iron in your blood. All these different things that people don't realize they help, because if you don't have enough oxygen in your blood, then you're going to get tired quicker.
Yeah.
And if you do have enough oxygen in your blood, then you got that stamina working for you.
Was there any bits of camp or training that you hated? Because again, Joseph Parker, he takes a shot of baking soda every morning. Apparently, it helps. I can't remember what it is. Something to do with his recovery, and that's what he does every day. But he hates it, and like the face on him when he's doing it is amazing. Did you ever have anything in camp, whether it's ice baths or whatnot, that you just hated but had to get on with?
No. Everything was for a reason. Even if you hated it, you had to do it.
Yeah. Well, last couple before I do let you go.
Okay.
Daniel Dubois, he is coming off the back of a loss as well. What do you think should be next for him? And do you think he can rebuild to get back to a heavyweight champion?
Yeah, absolutely. He can rebuild. He's been there before. He knows what it takes to get there. So there's other people out there that he can definitely beat and have a good fight with. So, he's got a good career still.
People question his heart quite a lot. He had been questioned, then he kind of proved everyone wrong, and then he's been questioned again. How important is heart for a boxer? And do you think that's something that he maybe lacks?
I would definitely not say he lacks heart. He doesn't lack heart. When they say that, I think it's a disrespect, because anybody that steps in the ring has heart. Certain situations, may be not applicable to him in that sense. It doesn't work for him.
Yeah. Well, last one for you. Going to try and get a prediction from you for this weekend. Canelo versus Crawford. How do you think it's going to play out?
I think there's going to be, for some reason, these guys are going to be exchanging punches. And it's whoever's the accurate puncher. If Canelo's being hit so easy in the first couple of rounds, I think, there may be a situation where he could get cut, because he doesn't get hit too much. So all of a sudden now, a guy may be hitting him and causing his, skin to swell up or whatever. That could be a situation. But I think Crawford is going to be moving around. He's going to box. He's going to use that jab. He's going to keep Canelo at the end. Canelo's going to be forcing the action, trying to get Bud to throw some punches. So in the exchanges, he's going to want to win the exchange. He's going to want to get that body punch in there. He's going to want to get that left hook in there, and he's going to want Bud to be right there so he can hit him.
So it's anyone's game, basically.
Yeah. Who is better? It's really who has the better game plan.
Do you think I said last one and now I'm asking you another one, sorry. Do you think it's crazy that we are getting these fights at the moment? Because stuff like this is pipeline dream stuff that we don't imagine we'd actually get it. Do you think we live in this monopoly world at the moment with boxing, that we're managing to get all these fights?
Yeah, I think it's great that we're getting these fights. I think Turki Alishek is doing the right thing, putting good fights together that people are excited about. And, I'm sure a lot of people are excited about this fight that's happening this weekend.
Well, long may these fights continue.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Lennox, for your time. We always appreciate it.
Thank you.